You're all my age fellows and younger ones. It's nice to get an opportunity to be with you all via media. The reason for coming up with this idea is to share a few thoughts of mine, which I thought it is in need of time with the changing values in society. To my mindset, I feel my duty to express and communicate my thoughts and feelings, which I have observed and experienced through my life. So, dear fellows, in today's fast paced world, I often find myself running on autopilot. I used to wake up, go through the motions, chase goals I thought I was supposed to want, scroll through endless social media feeds, and collapse into bed only to do it all over again the next day. And deep inside, I kept hearing a quiet voice asking me, "Is this all there is?" That one question sparked a major shift in my life. I realized there's a big difference between simply existing and truly living. Living a meaningful life isn't about being busy all the time. It's about having purpose, connection, depth, and authenticity. It's about choosing to live intentionally, understanding what matters to me, and aligning my actions with that truth. In this personal reflection, I want to share my journey toward living a meaningful life, what I learned, what I changed, and how I began living with substance and intention. For years, I thought success meant making money, gaining recognition, and climbing ladders. And while I reached some of those milestones, I didn't feel fulfilled. There was still an emptiness inside me that no paycheck or praise could fill. Eventually, I learned that success is about how life looks from the outside, but meaning is about how life feels from the inside. I began to ask myself, what does real success mean to me? Then I followed it up with, what would a meaningful life look like? Those questions changed everything for me. When I wasn't living a life of substance, everything felt shallow. I spent time doing things that didn't bring me joy, staying in places that didn't inspire me, and surrounding myself with noise instead of purpose. I chased fast pleasures, likes, stuff, attention, but ended up feeling more lost than ever. That emptiness wasn't a flaw in me, it was a signal. It was my inner self calling me to go deeper, to live with more intention, to break free from habits that weren't serving me. Finding purpose didn't happen overnight. I had to slow down and look within. I asked myself, 1. What truly excites me? 2. What am I naturally good at? 3. What values do I hold close to my heart? 4. How can I use my time and talents to serve others? I thought back to moments in my life when I felt proud, alive, or 3. What values do I hold close to my heart? 4. Can I use my time and talents to serve others? I thought back to moments in my life when I felt proud, alive, or at peace. Those moments had something in common. They were all rooted in purpose. Whether I was helping someone, creating something meaningful, or growing as a person, that's when I felt most fulfilled. Dear fellows, were you in deeper connections? I let go of shallow friendships and made space for people who lifted me up and accepted me as I am. Merely looked for purpose in my work. Even if my job didn't align perfectly with my dreams, I found ways to bring passion and care into what I did. Where you stopped neglecting my body and mind. I ate better, moved more, and made rest a priority. When I felt strong, I showed up better for life. IMF became intentional with my time. I stopped saying yes to things that didn't matter and began giving more time to what truly did. Camely deepened my spiritual practices, whether through meditation, prayer, or simply spending time in nature. Another point is to make room for a meaningful life, I had to let go of a lot. Lead to be liked by everyone. Playback, the habit of comparing myself to others. Hell of judgment. It wasn't easy. Some things were hard to release, but once I did, I felt lighter. I could finally breathe. Letting go gave me space to focus on what truly matters. You know what I did? I started doing a life inventory now and then. I asked myself, is this choice adding to my life or taking away from it? That one question became my compass. I used to think that only big goals or dramatic changes brought meaning. But I learned that the opposite is true. It's the little things, the daily moments that build a meaningful life. Windowsing deeply to someone. Smiling at strangers. Smiling my thoughts in a journal. Smiling caps thank you often. These small acts helped me become more present. They added layers of joy and connection to ordinary days. I realized that a real connection is essential to a meaningful life. I started showing up more fully for my relationships. Miley more openly about my thoughts and feelings. Miley gave people my full attention, apologized when I messed up and forgave when I could, spent more time with people who made me feel seen and heard. The more I connected, the more meaningful life became. It reminded me that we're not meant to do life alone. Growth used to scare me. Change felt uncomfortable. But I realized that the most meaningful parts of my life came from moments of growth, especially the hard ones. Then I stopped waiting to feel ready. I started embracing challenges, learning from mistakes, and trusting the process. Each time I stepped out of my comfort zone, I discovered something new about myself. Now I tell myself I don't need to have all the answers. I just need to keep growing. Now, every morning I ask myself, what can I do today that truly matters? It doesn't have to be big. Some days it's making someone smile. Other days it's learning something new, or simply resting when I need to. At night, I reflect on what made me feel connected, joyful, or proud today. These two questions help me stay aligned with a meaningful life. Meaning isn't a destination, it's how I walk the path. It's how I show up every day. Living with substance and meaning doesn't mean I have everything figured out. It means I choose to live intentionally. I choose love over fear, connection over isolation, and depth over distraction. I've learned that it's not about how much I do, but how present I am. It's not about being perfect, but about being real. So, if you've ever asked yourself, is this all there is? Please know you're not alone. That question is the beginning of something beautiful. Let's live lives that matter, not just to the world, but to ourselves. Let's live with substance, with courage, and with open hearts. Thank you for walking this journey with me. Let's keep growing together.